Good morning, Sacramento. We are here with another brunch with myself and friends and my co-host, Kyron Silva, who's been with us for 3 episodes. Thank you so much for joining us, Kyron. It's been fun talking with you. It's time for you to go.
Okay. All right. This is nice. Thank you for having me. No? I can at least stay for this episode.
Yeah, please. I need you, actually.
Okay.
So we've got
I haven't heard
show
that. Nobody's ever said they needed me. Thank you. That makes me feel good.
I'll remember to say that more often when I see you in the shop.
Oh,
just
okay.
a little ego boost. Just to I'll come in, get a big hug, and be like, "Did I ever tell you I
Hey, man. Brothers need hugs too. All right.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Well, we've got a good show for you today. We are going to be talking with some of Sacramento's favorites. We have got Dan Bethel, Professor Dan Bethel, coming on, who is a comic creator. You guys will know him from Free Comic Book Day. You've probably seen him at the cons, at the breweries with you, which we'll talk about. We've also got the Sacramento Roller Derby joining us. We've got Hannah Frank, who you will know as Red Tornado, Judith Lichadello, who is Rhodes Warrior. So I'm looking forward to it because Sacramento Roller Derby is, of course, one of my favorite, but we'll get to them. Kyron, what have you been doing this weekend?
Well, this weekend was actually Sac Anime in Sacramento, the biggest anime convention in Northern California, if I'm not mistaken. And my kids and I went down there yesterday, and it was fun. We did not plan on going there originally. One of my favorite artists, Edwin Wong, said he was going to be there, and I was like, I haven't seen Edwin in years, and I was like, kids, you want to go? And they were like, yeah, let's go, and packed them up. It took us about an hour to get into the facility because of how long the lines were. But once we were there, it was fun. We had a great time. My kids got a bunch of useless items that they can enjoy, and I got some free posters, so I'm good.
That's what it's all about, the free swag at these things. And I do believe that it is the largest one in the area, Northern California at least, which is absolutely incredible. But you did not go down for Tourist Comics at all. Do you ever do Sac Anime for that?
We try not to talk about the one time I did Sac Anime. It was my worst event ever as a professional artist. So I really try not to talk about it. But I have done it one time, and it still hurts when I bring it up, unfortunately. It's just okay. Just my books and my artwork just don't go with the anime crowd, I guess. And that's fine.
And it makes sense. It's the comic crowd and the anime crowd can be two different things. And I find that talking to people who went, I mean, we talked to Melissa, who's done plenty of them, and
and Jen.
Jen cleans up, which is crazy.
She was actually there yesterday.
Oh, did you stop by and say hi?
I did. I stopped by here. I also saw Michael Calero. He was there, local artist also.
Great.
Brent Sands from Impound Comics. He was there. There's a few people that I know of. So
that we got to get him on one of the shows because local, making an impact. He's got his own store downtown, which
right in Doko,
which is crazy. That's wonderful. So we will definitely have to work on that one as well. But I missed Sac Anime, unfortunately. Yeah. I didn't get to go. I was working yesterday. I'm working again today. So it's out of my hands. But I know they put on a good show. In fact, we went downtown last night after I got off work, and my wife didn't know what was going on. And she's like, what is happening? There's all these people dressed up everywhere. There's like Naruto stuff, and there's like these weird demon schoolgirls, and I was like, this is just downtown now, baby. You haven't come down here to
work. It's just a normal day downtown. What are you talking about?
Yeah, ever since things changed, they've changed a lot. This is what you're coming back to eventually. So I am sad that I missed it. I love going to the shows. I think that the SAC people put on really good shows, whether it's the Roseville Con or just the SAC Con in general. So yeah, I'll get back to
Stockton Con's coming up this weekend or this coming Saturday.
Are you going to do it?
No, it's my anniversary this week, so I actually get to spend time with my wife. She's allowing me to spend time with her.
This is the one week you get to interact.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I love it. How many years?
It'll be 18 years. We've been married this Wednesday. Yeah.
Wow, that is beautiful. That's impressive. You guys should really,
I'm surprised she stuck with me this long, honestly. I mean,
I am too. I think most people probably think that, but
nah,
you
I agree.
know, I mean, no. She's probably over there listening right now, like, yeah, that guy. No, it's just you and the dog. I know the dog's sitting on the floor over there. She always is.
Yeah, she's asleep right now, so I'm not going to bother her too much.
Okay. Well, this has been a great week in general. Not only do we have SacCon, but Shang-Chi hit on
Yes.
Thursday night. I went to see it Thursday night, and I knew it was going to be fun because it's a Marvel movie. I'm like, this is going to be great. They always pick good cast. They got good music. Everything comes together. So I'd seen the trailer. I was like, all right, I'll this is all right. Oh my God. The trailer finally did what I want a trailer to do. It didn't show you anything. It was incredible, like above board. His co-host, or not co-host, his co-star who played Katie, she stole the show.
Wait. Don't spoil it because I haven't seen it. I actually am going to go in 2 hours from now. I'm going to watch it. So don't spoil anything for me.
I don't want to set the bar too high, but this is one of the best Marvel movies.
Oh, okay. I don't want to set the bar too high, but this is one of the best Marvel movies. Come on.
So there are movies I like more. I like Guardians more. I like Cap 2 more. Avengers, because it was the first time they all brought together. But as far as just a solid movie, and especially setting the stage for everything to come for the Marvel Universe, knocked it out of the park. I just could not believe how good it was. So you are in for a treat. You are in for a ride. And
see, now I sort of wish I was coming on next week to host with you because I would like to be able to talk with it, but you only had me for 3 episodes.
Well, we're only doing 6, and I wanted to get some of my favorite people on. So I have you, and then I have Amy LaBelle of the Capeless Crusaders coming on. Everybody, you know, we love Amy. Everybody does.
Everybody loves Amy.
So this is only the first 6 episodes. We're just playing around, having a good time, and obviously, if we come back, I gotta have you on.
Well, it looks like Skip and Tosh said that he had a great time with it also. So I'm going to take your word and his word, and I will just go in and expect great things from this movie.
See, it's so funny. Says you have to. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. I was so surprised at how much I loved it. So good. You're taking the whole family, I assume.
Well, since my little one has got con cred because he went with me at SAC Anime and now he's not feeling good, so I'm going to take my oldest, and then he and I are going to go.
Oh, look at that! You're not taking everybody but, so that's great.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, Grandma, you got someone to watch. We're all going. We'll see you when we get back.
Now, my wife is not a huge Marvel movie fan in general, so she said she'll stay with the babies, and then me and my oldest will just go kill it.
That's great. But you don't. I don't think you have to be. This is just such a fun movie. In fact, Ronnie's mom went to see it before him, and she texted him and said, "This movie was amazing." So if Ronnie's mom gives it the stamp of approval, everyone is going to.
I think Ronnie's mom should now be like was that 2 thumbs up? Was it Siegel? I can't remember their names now. It's been so long. The old movie critics. They see 2 thumbs up from whatever that was.
Shoot. No. What was that?
That's Schuster. Yeah, I know.
No, I have no idea.
Siskel and Ebert. Was that it?
Siskel and Ebert. There we go.
Yes.
God.
Ronnie's mom should now do like a YouTube thing where she just reviews movies and tells us what she thinks about it.
I'll find out if she has a Twitter handle, and if not, we'll set her up with one so we can start doing this. I would be interested to see what movie she's reviewing and going for. Let's see what.
People are trying to spoil stuff for me.
Nice. Well, what if he doesn't want to gush over it? Do we still bring him back? Like this is. Do we want a negative opinion? Siskel and Ebert, see there. John's on it. He's helping us here. John's old school though. And John has this memory that just retains things that blows my mind. Whether it's facts or just like names or whatever, the man is always on top of it.
You say John's old school, but I don't think John's that much older than I am. So I would be considered old school also then.
Maybe he just has a better memory than us.
This is true.
Yes,
I have a horrible memory, so you're right. All right.
So we've got our first 2 guests up. I got my coffee ready. Hopefully everybody else does. Somebody commented on my absolutely giant mug, but this is the correct amount of coffee for a Sunday morning, I believe. Yeah. Look at that. That is absolutely huge. It's beautiful. Good morning, you two. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Morning.
How are you?
I am having a really wonderful morning today. How about you guys? What you been up to?
Good morning. I've been honestly studying. That's the fun thing that I do now is read.
So you're both actually going to school right now, correct?
Yes.
Which, as we know, is a theme today because we have a professor coming up next. Now, then let's get to know a little bit about you guys, because we're always pushing Sacramento Roller Derby. We're always trying to do everything we can to get people to come down with us to go to the bouts, but to get to meet the skaters behind the scenes is kind of nice. What are you? Let's start with you, Hannah. What are you going to school for?
I'm finishing my business degree. I started it 10 years ago or
At least you're
so,
finishing
and finally going back to finish it.
That's excellent. Now, is that something that, oh, obviously the answer to the question is yes. Is this something that you are going to be able to utilize with the work that you're doing now, or is it something that will allow you to move into a different direction?
It'll reinforce what I currently do. I'm a controller accountant for a private school, and becoming that in that position was one of my goals, was to finish my schooling. And my mother passed away last year, and one of her last wishes for me was to complete my degree. Education was always a big priority for her. So being at home and being online, it's easy. I can easily do all my classes from online. I'm going to UC Fullerton. So
now, do they require you to log in at a certain time with like Zoom meetings? I'm always curious how this works now, or is it you just do it whenever you want?
It's all pre-recorded videos. The program I'm with has been an online program for about 8 years, so they're already had that on lockdown before lockdown. So everything's pre-recorded. I do have testing is always available for 24-hour periods, so I do have to log in at a certain time, but it's throughout that entire day. But there's still deadlines, and I have to do tests every week. Every Saturday I have exams, and each class is 8 weeks, so it's easy to kind of go through. But I go for 48 consecutive weeks.
Now, my son is just starting college, his first year in college, and he's doing the same thing, doing Zoom classes where it's not scheduled. So do you find it hard to stay motivated with it not having a set schedule to really do your work?
No, because I've done it for a really long time. This will be my first bachelor's degree, but I have 4 other AAs, and 2 of those were accomplished solely online. So I've kind of gotten used to it.
Okay. And what about you, Judith? What are you heading to school for?
I'm a returning student. I graduated about 10 years ago with my bachelor's and have been wanting to go back ever since. But I'm sure it's totally a coincidence that I started doing Derby 10 years ago and just didn't have time. And now this past year, it was okay, let's get back to it. I had actually applied to grad school a couple years ago and did not get accepted and was crushed, and decided to try again. So I spent last year taking classes at Sierra College and doing some of those prereqs to help, show that I am serious about being a returning student. And so I'm in week 2 of grad school for forensic psychology.
Forensic psychology.
Wow.
Yeah. So what do you mind if I ask, what do you do right now?
I am a service coordinator for the regional center. So I provide case management to individuals with intellectual disabilities and developmental delays. And working in a crisis caseload, I mostly support folks that are in crisis that have a lot going on right now. And so I work with the court system a lot, the judicial system, and have always been really interested in, supporting folks that are, facing charges, helping them figure out a different direction to put their life in. And so I've got a lot of experience with that, but was looking to have more education to back that. and became really, really interested in forensic psychology. And now knowing that I can use that to better support my clients is really exciting.
So this will continue with what you're doing as well. This won't be a shift or a veer in your career.
No, it'll be more like diving into the deep end of what I'm already doing. So it's, long-term goal is to be able to serve clients beyond just the Sacramento area, but hopefully statewide. But for now, I'm excited to better support my folks here in our catchment area in Sacramento.
That's awesome. Then can you? My mind has all kinds of ideas. What is forensic psychology in a 30-second elevator pitch?
In 30 seconds, it's there. It is like the psychology, like within the judicial system. So there's the psychology of going into, is this person competent to like go to trial? Do they know what was going on? Helping with like victim advocacy. It is helping with jury selection. It's understanding all of the different psychology that goes on within the court system. And so, a lot of times the court system will look to social workers or psychiatrists or psychologists and try and say, fill us in, but those individuals might not necessarily be very familiar with the court system. And so forensic psychology is really understanding both. So yeah, there's Einstein.
Is that a cat sighting? No. Who is it?
Einstein.
Nice. Just wanted to make a quick appearance, just to remind us that he's there. Well, no, that is awesome. I'm glad that's incredible that you guys are doing that. What did John say? She'll be like J.K. Simmons. And Law and Order. Excellent. So have either one of you two seen Shang-Chi?
No, but I'm hoping to go. My anniversary is in 4 weeks, and we're trying to go for that.
And how many years?
24.
Wow, got you beat, Karen.
I'm sorry, I didn't get married earlier.
It's a contest.
Yeah, that's all right. You'll make it to 24, no problem. So that's very cool. 24 years is a long time. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And
debated a lot.
Your Sacramento roller derby stuff.
Yes. Yeah, 12 years of that. So half my marriage has been involved with derby.
12 years is a long time to be involved with the Sacramento roller derby. You are the longest running person still active right now, right?
Yep.
That's
Currently.
great.
Yes.
Bring in the knowledge, bring in the the skills, and you actually utilize that, because I know we've taken a lot of people to the events. And Karen and I have both been there, but you actually are part of the junior league.
Yes.
That a lot of people don't know about. So can you give us a little info on that?
Just in general, the junior league is for children 7 to 17. I've been coaching them, I think, since 2011. So a long time. Some of them have actually aged up and gone with the adults, and they've become my teammates. I think we started the juniors in 2010. I started in Derby in 2009. So a few years in, I started coaching and love it. It's great to see kids come in and little Bambi on skates and, develop confidence and skills, and a wide variety of kids that some you wouldn't look at to think that they would want to play derby or hit or anything. So it's very weird right now because of COVID, but we still have practice, and they're still going strong.
How hard is it to get the kids to get over their fears when it comes to just learning how to skate?
The very first thing that we teach them is how to fall. So once you kind of know how to fall and you know what to expect, to get back up. And that's kind of a theme in derby. Is a big difference with derby players is that we always get back up. So you get back up and you try again, over and over again, until they get it. But we start them in a 101 program. So it's this is how you roll. This is how you stop. This is how you move. get them comfortable in skates, and then move them into the team. But they do that multiple times. It's an 8-week course that we had before COVID, and they usually go through that 2 to 4 times. So they get pretty confident on their skates, and then they move to the big league,
That's
being
like,
on the team.
That's what I did when I did professional wrestling for a while. The first thing we learned is just how to fall on the mat.
Yeah.
And that was like a couple of days worth of just learning how to just land squarely before you move on to anything else. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's safety. So they don't even see it as safety, but if you know how to fall properly, you prevent a lot of injuries.
John in the chat says that you helped his youngest sketchy character a lot. So that's really cool.
Yep. They have both his kids are skaters.
Very nice. You actually, one of my friends is on the team, and I think her name is Bipolar Road. Bipolar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She and I trained
started back in 2009 with me.
Nice. She and I trained in Taekwondo for a few years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, and I kicked her butt a lot. So, but don't tell her that.
No, yeah. I'm sure that's the way it is. And you're still skating, right, Red?
Yeah. As much as we can right now. We do a lot of trail skating stuff because we can't really play derby right now. So as much as I can, I have my skates on.
That's great. And Judith, you're still skating, obviously, but you didn't even know how to skate before you did this, correct?
Correct. So
what you don't know how to skate. You see these people getting bashed up, sent to the floor. What made you decide that was what you wanted to do?
I went to my first game in February of 2012, and I had heard about roller derby a little bit. It looked really cool, and I had always wanted, I'd never played sports. I was always kind of an outcast kind of person, and just never really felt like I belonged somewhere. And so then going to a game with my younger brother and seeing these incredible skaters who are all different ages, different sizes, different strengths, and all using, and not being like, oh yeah, the short ones are the jammers, the tall ones are everyone was doing everything. And there was this skater called Amber Waves of Pain, and she was super strong and super buff and super tall, and she was a jammer. And I was like, this gal is so cool. And if she can do it, I bet I can do it. And so I showed up the following week, and they were like, yeah, if you think you can hang, you can try. This wasn't in Sacramento. And I went out and I wanted to hug the wall because I had no idea what I was doing, but I also wanted to be able to stay. And I stepped out and immediately fell. And this skater, I don't even remember who it was like, well, you got your first fall out of the way. And I was like, I did. And I got back up, and they were like, there you go. Let's keep going. And just kept sticking with it, and it definitely has changed my life.
That's great. And then there it is again, just like we were talking, or like Red was talking about. You fall, you get up. Don't lament on it. Don't mess with it. Just keep going.
Yep.
It's very empowering. It's huge, especially for kids and for women, to fall and not be like, oh, you fell, you lost. It's like, nope, just hop back up, keep going. And always knowing that the point is to fall, and that it's also to get back up is really empowering. And we see that with all of our skaters, that they end up keep doing that on and off the track.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned just now a minute ago that skating has changed your life. And one of the ways it's changed your life is you actually met your husband at a game. Was he part of was he part of Derby?
He was. So he was part of Sacramento, roller derby with Sacred back at the time, and had been involved with it for about a year and took it very seriously. He still does. And anytime he's looking at his phone, he's reading the rules, and is just very committed to the sport. And his, all of the skaters up in Sacramento were like basically his sisters, his family looking out for him. And he had an away game in Merced. And so that way his grandma could see him skate. She was in Fresno. And I was a borrowed skater. And so I'm also hanging out in Merced. And literally, I'm on the jammer line getting ready to jam. And I could feel someone looking at me. And I know he's off camera right now going like, no, you were looking at me. And but we saw each other, and it was just like, he says that he dropped his whistle and was like, I have to know who this person is. Wow. And I am very shy. And so I was like, I have to do whatever I can to avoid this person for the rest of my life. And so I stayed and helped clean the rink. I was a guest skater. I could have just snuck out, but I was like, I might see him. So I helped clean the floor. And then as it was time to leave, I went around the corner, and there's this tiny little Sicilian lady. And she's like, can I hug you? You did so good. I'm like, oh, thank you. And she's like, have you met my grandson? He's single. And there he was. And I was like, you don't say. And we've now been together for 8 years and just celebrated our 4-year wedding anniversary.
Congrats.
Well, congratulations. That is an amazing grandma. That is just
she knew what she was doing and was very effective.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you two for joining us. I am looking very much forward to seeing you guys at about here in the near future, and getting a group together. So just a little bit longer, and then we'll be back to normal.
And thank you.
Everybody stay safe. Can't wait to see you.
Thank you for being our longest sponsor we've ever had at Yes, it is. It is. You have been years. I don't know if it's double digits yet, but you've been our longest sponsor. So I really appreciate it, especially
that's amazing. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. I always have a great time, and it was really nice to actually get to talk to you for a minute. But stay safe, and we will see you guys on the other side.
Thank you. Bye.
That's
all
fun.
right. Well, that was fun. I cannot wait to go to another game.
I know.
It's just so much fun.
I've only been able to go out to one game live, and I went by myself, and I had a blast. You were there. John was there. John Marcotte's in the chat. And it's a lot more than what people think it is. I think there's a lot of preconceived notions about what roller derby is, but it's a lot more than that. I enjoyed it.
And it's not just them going around the ring, hitting each other and blocking. There's a lot of athletics involved too. Just being able to, the jammers being able to avoid people, jumping over the lines. There's a lot to it. But let's find out what Dan Bethel knows about roller derby right now.
Do we have to? I mean, really?
We do. I think that he's going to have some insights that we've been looking forward to.
All right.
Totally.
Dan, how's it going, sir? Well, first off, this is your birthday.
It is.
This is my birthday. I turned 22.
Should we sing to him?
I think we should.
Okay.
All right. Give it to me.
Right,
sure.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Bethel.
Happy birthday to you.
We started off cue and we ended off cue.
That's the only way to do it.
We synced up right in the middle, and then it was over.
That was all I wanted. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.
Nice. Like, goodbye.
That's
So great. 22. You're finally getting up there.
And did I say 22? I meant 87. I'm so sorry.
It's somewhere in
you
between.
only look 35, so it's good.
Thank you. No, I'm proudly 41 years old today. So there we go.
Well, nice. So you are now officially in your 40s, because for the last year you were See, I've had this conversation with a friend over and over, and they disagree.
Right.
When you're 40, you're not in your 40s.
Right.
I'm older than you.
Yeah.
I just realized.
Live with that.
I've known you for this long. I'm just now finding out I'm older than you. Great.
So what are you going to do for your birthday?
I'm doing it, man. No, it's going to be kind of a relaxed birthday, just kind of because things are still moderately locked down everywhere, and the state is on fire, so there's not a whole lot of places we can go. So we've just been kind of chilling, and we might go out towards the coast today for maybe for a little walk, take the dog out, and then maybe come back, watch a movie, go to bed early. That sounds like fun. So,
But that's what happens when you're in your 40s.
right? It's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
So, what did you get for your birthday this year, and was it better than what you got for your birthday last year?
I've gotten lots of happy birthdays from close friends and family, but no, definitely doesn't beat my birthday gift I got last year from a good friend of mine. I don't know if you met him. His name is Kyron Silva, Taurus Comics.
Okay.
And yeah, you know, if you can see it back there, it's up on the wall. He commissioned one of my favorite artists, a Canadian artist named Simon Roy, to do a drawing of Long John, the main character from my comic, and it was completely a surprise. And I think remember how eloquent and long-winded I was when responding to you, Kyron?
Yeah, he said, "Wow."
I said, "Wow." I was like, "Wow, wow, wow, wow."
He had no words.
I literally had no words.
It was literally like talking to Owen Wilson. Wow.
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 Yeah.
I'm glad he got it.
Thank you, Kyron.
Yeah. It was something I had planned for a while, and I was holding on to the actual image for a month or two. And I had reached out to his wife. I was like, well, what does he like? Who does he like? And she honestly did not help me at all. But then when I finally got it and I snapped her a picture, and she's like, oh, he's going to love that. And I was like, yeah, all right.
So I got to live up to that for the rest of my life. Somehow I got to pay it forward. We'll pay it back to Kyron in that way. So
I'm saying Rob Liefeld still does commissions.
Does he? Yeah, okay. I'll look into it.
Are his commissions, are they open, or did you just get to choose from a couple characters?
That's a good question.
I don't think he does anything outside of Deadpool now.
That's true.
I already said yes. The man loves his Deadpool. You cannot fault that man. And we are talking to a man right here. I'm talking to two guys actually who are children of the 90s, man, with their love of comic books. And
Sure.
and they both are just they love that classic stuff. I know Kyron's a big Darkhawk fan. Who are some of your favorites, Dan?
I was a devotee of anything Jim Lee did, you know. Because my first comic ever was X-Men #1, I guess Volume 2 #1, right off the stands. A friend of mine was a comic book fan, and I wanted to get into it. He's like, well, there's a book out right now. It's a perfect place to start. And I got that book off the shelf, and we kind of fell in love with how dynamic and how crisp and how just powerful it was. And then actually the next book I got was not X-Men 2 because I didn't know how comics worked. The next book I got was actually, I got a graphic novel from the local Walden Books called God Loves, Man Kills. And that like blew my mind. I'm like, well, this is actually saying something. This is like, I feel like this is important. And then I feel like that those two kind of experiences, one sort of like the more pop culture phenomenon, one more literary, really shaped kind of comics I want to make, even though I don't really tend towards making superhero comics or anything like that. I think balancing that fun with the to mention an old Latin poet named Horace, he said art should have dulce et utile, which means art should be sweet and useful. And nothing cemented that like reading those two books basically back to back, and has kind of created my own creative aesthetic ever since then.
It is kind of incredible that you got those two books because they are polar opposites in the comic book spectrum.
Totally.
And both beautiful and wonderful in their own way.
Yeah. But yeah, once the 90s were going, man, I was all over it. I followed all the guys from Marvel to when Image started and was way into that stuff, and then kind of fell off mainstream comics around 96, 97, just because they started getting really expensive and they started making so many books. I'm like, I don't even know what to do anymore. And I was broke because I was 16, 17. But yeah, it's been fun kind of actually with your shop coming back to comics in like probably like 2010, 2011. I got back in reading the Transformer comics from IDW, and then finally started to see what like DC and Marvel were doing again. It's been a really fun adventure to not only read what they've been doing, but also catching up in that probably 20-year gap between then and now. So thank you for providing me that outlet, sir.
Well, of course, and you're. I think you, for the most part, follow X-Men the most these days, right?
I do, yeah. It's been an interesting ride, especially since with the House of X kind of reboot, for lack of a better word. But it's been, yeah, it's been that's the main books, just because those are the characters I have the most affinity towards. Other than that, I like the more indie stuff. I'm a big fan, as you know, of Jeff Lemire, especially his solo work. I'll pick up anything he does. But yeah, in terms of the big two, it's mostly anything with an X on it. I'm going to check out in some way or another.
Now, does that also include the X-Men media, like their cartoons, TV series, and movies? Are you consume all those as much as possible too?
I do. I'm a bigger fan of. I really like. You're doing this to me, sir. This is where you get all the negative comments. I am a personal fan of the X movies more than I am the Marvel Studios movies. That's just because I like those characters. I will watch anything that they're in. And I like that they took chances. I like that they took chances and failed. Whereas I think the Marvel Studios movies are super fun, no doubt, and we're going to see Shang-Chi pretty soon here. But yeah, it's just something about, especially towards the end of Fox's run with the Marvel movies, they actually started being weird about it and forget continuity. Let's just try to make a movie that does something different. And success or fail, I always tend to enjoy those movies and tend to go back to them. I watch them quite a bit. As far as the animated stuff, another hot take from Dan Bethel. I'm a big fan of the Pride of the X-Men pilot that they did in 1990, 89, 90. More than and I really liked the X-Men animated series when it started, but I actually kind of fell off it pretty quick. I wasn't the biggest fan, mostly because I felt like they were doing a good job retelling all the stories that I've already read. And the animation was kind of like iffy at points. So I'm like, it kind of looked better in the comics. So I kind of backed off the animated show and just I'll just stick with the comics, I guess. But yeah, I like, again, anything with an X-Men, I'll check it out in some shape or form, play the video games, watch any movie, TV show that pops up.
Going back to Pride of X-Men, and Ben, maybe you can answer this for me. Going back to Pride of X-Men, did they ever explain why in that cartoon Wolverine had an Australian accent?
No. From what I heard is they wanted it to be as they wanted to echo the world diversity that the comics had. I guess they felt that a Canadian accent wasn't that distinct.
That was too close to America, so they're like, let's give them a
right. And that's just conjecture. I thought I heard that somewhere. I might be making it up, but that's what and it was also he was also had an Australian accent in his appearance in, I think, Spider-Man in Amazing Friends, I think. When the X-Men showed up there, yeah, and so they just kept that going.
With the Pride of the X-Men, that was back before. I mean, here we are on the internet. That was back before the internet or any of that kind of stuff. And I had heard about it from a local shop, and my brother and I kept waiting. We're like, when is it going to show? When is it going to show? Right. Then one Saturday, my brother comes running up to my room. It's like 6 a.m, screaming. Yeah. And he's like, it's on. And I ran out of bed, ran down there. We missed like 10 minutes. And then we just sat fixated for the next 20 minutes. And we were just so excited.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's a really well animated pilot. I don't know if the quality would have kept up if the show kept going, but it's as a sort of extant artifact of what could have been. It's pretty amazing, despite really falling into the tropes and just sort of the formula of 80s cartoons at the time. It's really nice little piece of work. I have it on VHS as well and have watched it many times. Even recently, not less than 6 months ago, I dug out a VHS player just to watch it again. Even though I'm sure it's on YouTube.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, that's it? Wow.
Yes.
I know it's on in the shop today. That's absolutely fantastic. So then you seem to know about the show. Why did it not take off? Because only a few years later we get the other X-Men one.
Yeah, I don't know. I just maybe I don't know, viewership or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they felt like it wasn't a viable idea. I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like it would fit because that's the era of G.I. Joe and Transformers where you have each character has their own basic ability or power and personality. It seems like a perfect fit, but maybe it was too expensive. I don't know.
One thing we did get from it is the fantastic X-Men arcade game. That came from the VHS or the Pride of X-Men thing. So,
which they have down at CoinOp, and that game is way harder than I remember. Like,
Yeah.
like those. I don't know how anybody could beat those games. Like, I'll go through $20 and I'm only on like the third stage.
Right.
You can also get it. Arcade One Up just released their home version of it. It's a 4-player version that you can buy from Target now. $700, but if you want it for home, you can.
Is it a full
check out Kyron's GoFundMe, right?
It's a full stand-up console. 4 players, so it's not the 6-player one.
Check out Kyron's GoFundMe. He's got it up there right now.
I have been following that since the day they announced it, and I thought it was gonna be like $300-400. And when they announced it, they're like $700. I was like, I can't swing that. Right. I can't swing that at all. I wish I could, but
so keeping with the theme we had here, changing topic just a little bit. You're the very first professor that we've had on here, on not only on this show, but I think on any of my videos.
Okay.
Is this something you've always wanted to do? Is this something you fell into?
Yeah, more something I fell into. I was a very bad student throughout. I flunked out of college my first try. It was easy. I just stopped going. But when
it happens to all of us our first few years of college, we're like,
right.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I was. And once I flunked out, I just moved out of town, my hometown, for the first time ever. And it was in that year that I was gone. I was like, what do I want to do? And I've always been creative and been into writing. I'm like, what's a way? Because I wasn't confident in my ability as a creative to like, let's become a professional writer. I was like, what's a way that I can just talk about writing all day? And like, well, that if you teach writing, then that's the best way to get easiest way to get a paycheck for it, but not easiest way, but the best way other than becoming a professional to do that. And so I started looking, and to do that, I figured I need to get at least a bachelor's degree with the idea that I'd go into teaching like junior high, high school, something like that. And so I was able to get back into college after being put on academic probation and getting a stern talking to from the dean and stuff like that. But 3 years later, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in art. I'm sorry, in English. Wow. And realized quickly that you can't do anything with a bachelor's degree in English, except for like write copy for like an insurance company or go to grad school, basically. So after a year after getting my bachelor's degree, I'm like, I guess I need to get my master's degree. I really don't like going to school, but here we go. And so I got into Sac State and got my master's degree in 2012. And during that time, they gave me teaching opportunities. And I realized that I really did enjoy it. So that's the biggest thing with teaching is that people say they want to teach, but once they get into a classroom, things are very different. It's not just regurgitating information. It's having to interact with groups of people at once. And that's why there's such a high turnover rate for teachers, especially in those K through 12 kind of positions. That's also when I realized when I was getting my bachelor's degree that K through 12 system is not really for me. This is a little too restrictive, really stressful. And so I'm like, let's look at college. And maybe I'll teach at a community college. I enjoyed my time as a student at community college, so I'll try for that. And I just happened, once I got my master's degree, I was able to get hired at the school I graduated from at Sac State. And so I'm not teaching at a community college, but I'm teaching at a college and I'm talking about writing all day, every day, which is kind of all I wanted. So it allows me, especially, and the other thing, the nice thing about teaching is that part of the job includes not working during the summers. You can, but what I like about the job is I get those 3 months where I can do my other job, which is just writing and drawing comics, right? And so it's the best job where I can have that time to just devote to making comics and bounce back and forth between them throughout the year.
Now, as a teacher, do you get a lot of students that have maybe graduated and come back and do I thanked you for all this and just thank you for your help in their time with you?
Not really. Mostly because and that's fine because I'm a general education teacher. I teach the first years and second years, and one of the things I say when the semester comes to an end, I'm like, hey, one, if you feel like you improved as a writer at all during the semester, it's because of the work you put in. I did nothing but give you feedback. Two, we practice more skills and ideas of just getting ideas out of your head and onto the page. And I hope that more than anything is something you take with you, the ability, those strategies to do that more than liking this class. I don't care if you like English. I don't care if you like writing. I don't care if you like me, because by the time you walk across that graduation stage, you won't remember this class. How well do you remember your first year writing class? Probably not that well, right? Because it's just a step. It's a hoop you have to jump through, and I'm completely aware of that. So that's why it's less about me and the things I have to say. I'm like, how do we get you so you can get this job done, and this job being a student so you can go on with your life eventually. So yeah, not a whole lot. I've gotten some people, a lot of students that I still talk to and engage with that have long since graduated. But it's mostly been, a couple of people have come back for like recommendation letters and stuff. I'm like, from me, I'm literally nobody, but okay, I'll write you a letter of rec. But it's to that end, it's thankless, but that's okay. It's just because it's not a really important class in the long scheme of things, aside from hopefully getting them the opportunity to learn how to speak their voice, both verbally and on paper. So that's kind of how I approach it.
Well, and you talked about the 3 months. Before we let you go, we do want to at least make sure we mention what you do during those 3 months and where they can find it, because you are working on the final chapter of Long John, correct?
Maybe. No, the one I'm working on now is most likely the penultimate chapter. I thought we'll have one more after this. It's said at the end of this one, chapter 5 of Long John, longjohncomic.com. You can it's setting up sort of the end game. So I'm very excited to get going. And I'm not sure, depending on how it falls together, whether it's going to be one more or two more, but at the very least one more after this. So I got the entire book drawn. Starting this next week, I will be I'll be coloring and lettering, and hopefully, and we'll definitely have that ready by Free Comic Book Day 2022. So longjohncomic.com.
Yes, longjohncomic.com. First Saturday in May is Free Comic Book Day. We are already planning, getting things going. We will have both of these gentlemen here, and both of them hopefully with some new material, which is great. So Dan, thank you very much for joining us, and happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you so much, guys. Can I get a happy birthday song on the way out? No. Okay, fine. I'll take the one that I got then.
Yep, one at a time. All right. Well, God, thank you, Kyron, so much for joining me for these 3 issues. Issues.
It's your comic book background. You always think everything is an issue.
It seeps through. I do that all the time. I'm like, wait, these aren't issues. These are episodes. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been fun. It's always great to have you on when we do these kind of things. And you are going to be at Free Comic Book Day 2022. Yes. Free Comic Book Day Festival for Empires Comics. What will you have new for us?
I should have the first issue of my new series, Star Core #1. I should also hopefully have issue 4 of Saw the Lightning Wielder, along with issues 1 through 3 and issues 1 through 6 of Shaman's Destiny and issue 1 of Ruby from Planet Oz. So I'll have a lot of books, and I might even have a couple other books that I've been working on as a guest artist. Like I just finished the anthology Cthulhu Invades Oz. I have some books from that I might be able to bring, along with the new one that we're coming up with, which is called Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. So hopefully I'll have those too.
And you did, just because this is kind of neat, you did an anthology with Ben Dunn.
We did. And that was called Indie Wars. And that was actually really fun because I think we had like 12 different indie creators supplying their characters into this one anthology series. So that was actually really good. I hope we do another one. I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but I hope we do another one because I think that's a good setting to just introduce new characters to people.
That's great. That's great. Well, you guys can find all of those books, of course, on his website. If you're in the Sacramento area, we've got the stuff he has available on the shelf for you. So just ask me if you don't see it. And of course, you're going to want to follow Tars Comics on every social media because the man is prolific. He's just got it all over the place. The other side, there we go. So again, thank you very much, Kyron. I know we will see you very soon, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And next week we have got the fabulous Amy LaBelle of the Capeless Crusaders joining me as co-host, and some great people. We have Pug Rescue and somebody else. Who is it, Kyron? He's like, I don't know. I'm not on that one.
We have Cody Stark, right? You guys have Cody Stark
Oh
coming
my
up.
God, how can I forget Cody Stark?
Yeah.
See,
you only were focused on the pugs. That's
yeah, I really was. Yes, the man with the bow tie will be here next week. Cody Stark and Pug Rescue. So we will see you guys then. Thank you for joining us, and I'm going to head to the store right now. So I'll see you in the shop.